What's up, guys? This is Ian here, normally coach of your Ladner Lantern, but in this video, coach of your Surrey Stingers. That's right, we did a partial rebrand, and why is it... Ugh, I'm on the other monitor. Okay, Google Slides being weird. Yes, partial rebrand. This is a cool new logo idea that I thought up and sent off to Jed, and Jed was like, hey, that sounds cool, I'll make it for you. And yeah, so here it is. Looks pretty sick. I've been in love with Mega Beedrill lately. Spoiler alert, we do not get Mega Beedrill in this draft, but Mega Beedrill has been my favorite mon to use in Draft League for a bunch of months now. And so I wanted to theme a logo based on that, as well as one of the cities closer to me had the same starting letter. So I was like, okay, well, we'll just go with Surrey Stingers. So this is PTL Season 2. We promoted to Division 2 that you probably would have known had you watched my PTL Season 1 recap. Not the biggest deal, but we did promote to Division 2. We were in the draft with our good buddy Shade, aka it's Shade 99. And his Calgary Talonflames right behind him. He had 3rd pick, we had 4th pick, so decent pick this season instead of 11th like we had last season, which was complete trash. New to the unbanned list this season, Tapu Lele, but it's not allowed to run Z moves. I believe it's not allowed to run Z moves. Please tell me it's not allowed to run Z moves. Yes, okay. Tapu Lele, no Z Crystal. Same stuff as last time, same broken stuff as last time. Last time we picked up Megalodios. This time I am not going to go that route. So, with the 4th overall selection in the D2 draft... Oh, I guess I should explain everything else. We had a 130-point budget, 10 to 12 mons, 10 min, 12 max. I do go with 11, so spoiler alert, I don't use all of them. At this point, you guys should have seen the draft stream. I'm recording this way early, but we have a designated day to put this up, so it should be up February 3rd. And you guys will have seen the draft stream already if you wanted to watch the draft stream. Who knows? So you'll see all of these slides in the past. What the fuck is going on with you, Chrome? Get out of here. Anyways, we picked up Megalop first. Picked up the Megalopony. Nothing was really sniped except I kind of wanted Lele. Besides Lele, though, I mean, what are you going to do, right? Like, I'm not going to try and get Lele. Yeah, Megalop, super fast. I've used it one time before in EPTL Season 3. We made semifinals with it and got hacked out of that game. I absolutely should have made finals. Who knows if I would have won the whole thing or not, but I definitely should have made finals. And that Megalop team was really fun. I really enjoy Megalopony. Fast Megas is sort of a thing with me now, especially with Mega Beedrill and Megalop. Both of them just like have very few switch-ins, so yeah, like Megalopony has nothing that's immune to either of its stab, so it's pretty helpful with the scrappy ability there. Obviously gives me a solid speed tier right off the bat, 135. Not a lot is outspeeding that. Ironically, Mega Beedrill is. But there's not a lot that hits that sort of speed tier range, and it forces a lot of Scarfers to run more speed than they would want to, probably as well, to outrun Megalopony. Like, I don't know, something like a base 80 Scarfer has to run a boosting nature to outrun Megalopony, even if they're holding a Scarf. Because I know Mega Beedrill outspeeds Scarf Hoop Unbound by 1 point, so that's 145 and 80. So, you know, 10 base point speed difference is about 20 speed points. Yeah, so it still forces Hoopa to run. It still forces base 80s to run a non-boosting nature, so they all automatically become less of a threat. Not the biggest deal, but yeah, Megalopony is super strong, and I wanted to take it away from Brett because Brett's back in our division and he drafts the same shit every single time. Shoutouts to Brett, but I'm not letting you have Megalop 2 seasons in a row. Bye. All right. Clefable, I wanted Clefable next. The core I wanted was Megalop, Clefable, Garchomp. I thought Garchomp was criminally under-tiered, and we'll see how ironic that is later, because it was under a certain dragon that I ended up picking up later because it was the last sort of thing left, because I got sniped a lot in the middle of the draft. Basically, whenever I went to sleep, I got sniped. So, Clefable was planned, though, and I'm actually surprised Clefable came all the way back to me. It was like 20-plus picks, and Clefable came back to me somehow. Amazing Fairy, I've actually never used it before. It's a rocker, again, it's Amazing Fairy, pretty slow in comparison to Megalopony. Super good setup mon, you know, an unaware tank, so there's a lot that Clefable does in the format, and that's kind of why it's priced so high. Round 3, I wanted to grab Garchomp, and Bub, of all people, grabbed Garchomp. So, fuck, I don't know, man. Garchomp is what I wanted, and it got taken, 3 picks after this Clefable. Or sorry, 4 picks after this Clefable, and I was going to grab it the next time around. I knew Shade wasn't taking it. I was reasonably confident Moki wasn't taking it, but I wasn't entirely sure on that one. And so I just kind of had to hope that it wasn't going to get sniped. Should I have, held off on the Clefable another round? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know if Moki would have grabbed the Clefable or not. So, yeah, we end up grabbing Jirachi instead of Garchomp. Pretty broken Steel type still sitting there in round 3. I'm blowing through my points, by the way. As you can see, we're down to 79 points. But this is looking like a really strong team. I've got 2 Rockers already. I've covered a bunch of typings. Had the offensive Psychic that I always love to have on any draft. I love having an offensive Psychic. Obviously, flinch hacks here with the Jirachi. I've got T-Wave spam on the team, which is perfect because that's what I love. Double Rockers, again, double Rockers. U-turn, which is kind of a big thing for me. I love having Volt Turn, and Jirachi getting U-turn as a Steel type is pretty good. A Steel type that gets rocks and U-turn, I mean, that's just like the whole package with me, really. It obviously covers the poison weakness for Clefable. I don't really do these draft breakdowns in this sort of way anymore, just because you guys aren't stupid and you kind of know what the type matchups are. But that's main reasons why I picked Jirachi there. Another good setup mon in terms of Calm Mind, at the very least. There's no Omni Boost allowed, otherwise, Stored Power... Is Stored Power Jirachi thing? I know there's some Omni Boost that it gets. Z Happy Hour or something, and then you just Iron Head people to death with your +1 speed, +1 attack. Anyways, that's Jirachi. No need to go any deeper into Jirachi. I grabbed Roserade next. I was going for Roserade plus Suicune, and I really wasn't sure which order to grab them in. I probably could have waited on the Roserade and taken Suicune this round, but we grabbed Roserade instead. Spike support for Mega Lopunny I think is pretty important. This whole team is kind of built around Mega Lopunny being the star. So Spike support and T-Spike support, especially a ground and poison type as well. Obviously Roserade is not a ground resist as a grass type, which I would like for the Jirachi at some point, getting a ground resist. In fact, I don't draft a ground resist on the entire team. So yeah, shoutouts to that. Ground EQ spam looks pretty fucking good against spam, not gonna lie. Yeah, okay then. Alright, well, there you go. So now you can rule out the typings that I just spoiled there. But yeah, Roserade is another good special attacker. So I've got like, a middling special attacker in the Clefable, a good one in the Roserade, a mixed attacker in the Jirachi, and a really good physical attacker in the Mega Lopunny. Pretty balanced offensive team so far, balanced speed tier wise, and things are going well. And then Brett took Suicune, so my bulky water was gone, and I had to rely on something else. So instead of that, I went with the big boy Raikou, and grabbed Raikou for 15 points. Again, my budget is very quickly diminishing here, but we got our Fast Electric. It's a speed tier between the Jirachi and the Mega Lopunny, which is very important. Don't want to have Scarfers thinking they can just outrun Jirachi. They need to go higher and outrun Raikou, at the very least. A good Scarfer in itself, so I've got 2 good Scarfers here with the Jirachi and the Raikou. Another Calm Mind setup on, so Calm Mind setup looks pretty threatening coming from my team here. Oh, I forgot to mention that I have double Wish Pass in Clefable and Jirachi, and a Cleric in the Clefable already, which is kind of cool. Actually, Mega Lopunny gets Heal Bell too, so there's lots of options there. Yeah, Raikou's pretty fun. I've never actually used Raikou before, so again, the Raikou and the Clefable I've never used before. I've used Mega Lop once, Jirachi once, Roserade once. Twice? Twice? I don't remember anymore. I've been in so many leagues, who counts anymore? I do, actually, but I'm not paying attention. So, Raikou. Yeah, Raikou is pretty cool. I don't think I actually sniped anybody with this. It was pretty deep, and I imagine this might not have gone drafted at all had I not picked it up. So I probably should have taken, some higher value picks at this point. Next up, I was going to take Druddigon. I believe this was the round that it got taken. If it wasn't, then oh well. I'll let you guys in that I got sniped on Druddigon. Someone sniped Druddigon for me, and I was really fucking mad. because it was like pretty crucial to my plan to have this defensive dragon sitting there that gets rocks. It was, in fact, not this round, but I ended up going with the last bulky water that was left, essentially, in Blastoise. Pretty cheap bulky water. It's a spinner, which is nice, especially with spike support. Pretty crucial to have a spinner with spikes so that you aren't defogging away. I don't actually have a defogger yet, by the way, but we've got the spin support there now. Bulky water, like I said. Obviously, it doesn't have the recovery, but having Wish Passing, Clefable, and Jirachi is pretty clutch for the Blastoise there. Almost like a reverse Alomomola Mega Aggron sort of combo with the Jirachi Blastoise there. Just because Blastoise hits a lot harder than Alomomola does, and Jirachi hits a lot harder than Mega Aggron does. And between the two of them, they kind of tank hits just as well as both Mega Aggron and Alomomola, just don't pass as fat wishes from Jirachi as you would with an Alomomola. That's about it with Blastoise. It's pretty straightforward mon, just not really going to do super crazy stuff. I think I sniped someone with this next one, though, as I grabbed Braviary. I've been having a lot of success with Braviary in Nacho's League, despite my horrific record, because I just consistently get hacked out in that league. Braviary is 9-3 currently for me right now as I'm recording this, and it's my team MVP, even though I'm 2-5. So yeah, Braviary is a really good mon. I've discovered the power of low-tier Braviary. I do think it succeeds a lot more in a points format where it's a little bit undervalued compared to a tiered format. I'm not sure if I would ever take this over another tier 4 is the thing, because typically there's better flying types in other tiers that you would grab earlier. But 8-point Braviary, I will take that for days. It's another U-turner, it's a defogger, it hits a speed tier that I want, it's a great Scarfer, so we're checking off a lot of boxes here. It also punishes opponents defogging away my spikes with the Defiant there. And that was kind of a key for me, as that Braviary ticked off a lot of boxes and was a huge threat. Burb Spam is pretty broken, and it's a Ghost Switch in. Another Ghost Switch in, obviously I have the Mega Lopunny there, so double normal, which isn't bad either, really, because Mega Lopunny breaks steals anyways. And we'll grab some other things to break steals a little bit later on in the draft, excuse me. Fun with freedom, the Braviary. Next up, I grabbed my Dark type. I was very much considering going Hoopa Unbound here. Very much considering it, and it got taken. So, yeah. This late in the draft, I wasn't expecting anyone else to take Hoopa Unbound. But Brett grabbed it, and so instead we grabbed Drapion. Not ideal to have double poison on a team. And this one doesn't resist Fairy, but luckily I have other Fairy resists on the team to cover for that. It's another T-Spiker, which is nice, another grounded poison. Again, not super ideal. It's a physical attacker, which my team is kind of, it's middling on both there. It's a Pursuit Trapper, which is pretty huge, actually. Pursuit Trapping Psychics that Jirachi would otherwise mostly wall is pretty cool, and Pursuit Trapping Ghosts that want to switch into Mega Lopunny. I don't know if they want to switch into Mega Lopunny or not, but Pursuit Trapping Ghosts is cool, I guess. There's not much that Drapion actually offers for my team besides a knockoff user at this stage, which is kind of cool. So it's not the best pick I made this draft. It's not ideal whatsoever. And the draft sort of went downhill as I started getting sniped while I was asleep. But the team rounds itself out a little bit nicely here, I think. Next pick, I picked up my ground type in Golurk, stopping that Volt Switch spam against me. Covers the Blastoise a little bit well there. Obviously, I've got a shitload of grass resists now with the Braviary, Drapion, Roserade 4 times resisting, and the Jirachi, so I don't have to worry about Blastoise's grass weakness all too much. But the electric weakness was kind of overbearing to an extent, just because I had Blastoise plus Braviary and then only Raikou Roserade to resist. Not the best. I'd rather have an immunity. Gives me another Stealth Rocker, which I was pretty lacking after the Clefable Jirachi. I went 5 picks without grabbing a Hazard Setter. 5 picks without grabbing a Rock Setter. Golurk's actually a pretty beastly physical attacker. Again, I'm sort of leaning towards the physical side now, and that's not really going to change as the draft pans out here. Luckily, I've got the Clerics to heal off those Will-O-Wisps and shit, and my last pick is a real Will-O-Wisp switch in. So, yeah, I've seen Golurk do a lot of work. I know Rock Polish sets can put in work. I've had it once before, and so that was fun. I've actually never used Drapion before, by the way, so Drapion's the first time first time use for me. Golurk, pretty broken Earthquake spammer just because of how it works. And I managed to fight long and hard enough to get the Dynamic Punch ban out of the rule set, so I can use No Guard Dynamic Punch with the Golurk. Who knows if I'll actually use it, but having it available to me is something that I fought hard for about a day and a half, and I'm glad that it got changed in the rule set so that I can use it. Now, this is 9 picks in. I could go for one more. Obviously, I told you guys that I went for 2 more. There was only one other person who had the points to pick what I wanted. Next, I'm grabbing a 17-point Mon this late. I know, crazy, right? There weren't actually that many other people that had points left. A couple of the people, I think, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 people behind me had already finished their drafts at this point. They were completely out of points. There were, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other people behind me that couldn't afford what I was about to pick. There was only one person in front of me who could afford what I was going to pick, and I was told they were not going to snipe this. So I ended up grabbing the other dragon, the one that I think is actually overvalued, and hopefully I will show that it's overvalued because it's I don't like it very much, and I'd much rather have Garchomp. But we grabbed these Salamence for ourselves. You know, I've used this one season in PCL Season 1. You guys can go way back in my video history to find my entire season of PCL Season 1. Not the current PCL that is run by Garchomp the God, but a PCL before that run by my good buddy Magic Blades. And we used Salamence pretty horrifically on that team. My MVP on that team is actually Tyranitar. Excadrill I will never touch with a 10-foot pole ever again. That Mon was just complete trash in my hands. And I really wasn't that big of a fan of Salamence. Granted, my team is hyper-offensive. I didn't really have the bulk to help Salamence. Salamence offers me a third Wisher on the team, which is kind of cool. So Bulky Mence is pretty sick. I did bring a couple special variants that season that put in a lot of work. And just overall, I think Salamence was the best dragon option left available to me. I don't have a lot of ice resists, and I don't have my fire type yet, so I had to grab my fire type last. 2 points is not a lot to pick them on with, but I'm really excited about this one, and I'm looking forward to using Heatmor. Now, Heatmor is a mon I've never used before. It's a mon I've never seen anybody use before in my time playing Draft League, and I'm really excited to get to use it. It's actually got a lot of different coverage options. I'm about as excited that I get to use Heatmor this season as I was that I got to use Scrafty last season, just because I thought Scrafty was so cool, and it had all these cool coverage options that I'd never used before, and Heatmor's the same way, man. It's a fantastic mixed attacker. It gets priority in Sucker Punch. It's a workup user. I mean, honestly, like, Heatmor's pretty sick, considering it's, like, middling bulk and poor typing, generally, in Pure Fire. Excuse me. Great wall breaker with Fire Lash. Absolutely beats down defensive walls. And if you want to bring in a special wall on the Heatmor, then you're going to get beat down by Fire Lash. And if you want to bring in a physical wall, you're going to get beat down by Fire Lash because the defense drops. Otherwise, it's a great mixed attacker, and so I'll just hit you with Fire Blast. But yeah, that's sort of my thoughts with the Heatmor there. Just sort of an exciting end to the draft here. Let me know what you guys think of the draft down in the comments, by the way. I think it's all right. It definitely would be a lot fucking better if I had Garchomp on this team. I swear to God, man. If I had Garchomp Jirachi, I probably could have got both, by the way. I definitely could have got both on the way back. So it kind of sucked that, you know, that's actually 1 point cheaper than Jirachi plus Mence. I much would have rather had Garchomp. I would never have taken Golurk, so Golurk wouldn't be on the team. Mence wouldn't be on the team, so my ice weakness wouldn't be so present, and unfortunately I wouldn't have had to draft Heatmor, but I probably would have got something like Darmanitan or something to make up for that. So, in terms of the draft, that's what there is, and then in terms of Z users, we got 30 Z user points, max of 5 total Z users. I did not go with 5 because I don't have that many good Z users. I have like 2 really good Z users, and then a bunch of middling Z users. The 2 really good ones are Raikou and Salamence, but I couldn't afford to do both of them, so I had to go with one, and I went with the Salamence. the Drapion, and the Heatmore as my final Z user. I went with Heatmore. Heatmore's got, like I said, it's got a bunch of cool coverage options. You can see that it's shiny. It's going to be shiny this season. Drapion's got some neat Z user options. Things like Aqua Tail. Pretty cool. Poisonium Z's got very few switch-ins. Definitely a good fairy killer with that. You know, not, again, I really prefer Open Z. I really hate the idea of Z points, but Z points, I guess, kind of balances it. I wouldn't really say balances, but yeah, there you go. So that's the whole team, the entire team for our PTL Season 2 Division 2 run. Note that this season is not nearly as long as last season was. It's 3 weeks shorter. It's only 12 weeks. There's a bye week in the middle there. Where's the bye week? Between week 6 and 7, there's a bye week, which is the middle of March. There will be a bye week. And then if all goes well, the playoff finals will be on my birthday that it goes up. So that's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of cool. So week 1, we take on Trog in the Vancouver Tapu Canucks, which is funny because I'm from Vancouver. And we will be taking on him in week 1. So you guys will see the team builder go up on different upload days this season. Obviously, it was kind of whack last season with team builders going up Thursdays, matches going up Fridays. Instead, you will see team builders Saturdays, matches Sundays. So keep an eye out for that. Next week on Saturday, should see the team builder for Trog. Anyways, that's gonna be it from you guys, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.